Welcome to a very special, informative, and advice on mental health, all aspects of mental health. We're going through a stigma at this present moment of time, and we're trying our hardest to overcome it. We can't get rid of it completely, but try and manage it and cope and find different strategies to help us as the individual person struggling, especially through the pandemic we had a couple of years back. That was hard being stuck in. Now we're looking at the future. Now we're looking at what we can do, how we can cope in different situations. Now, I am a strong believer in this, and I go through it myself. The big word, massive, put it in bold, put it in massive letters, anxiety. We all go through it, and I go through it loads. And I'm here in a company through Zoom. I have done a Zoom podcast before. I am in a company of Duncan. Thank you so much for reaching out to me. How are you, Duncan?
I'm very good, thank you. Yeah, thank you for the opportunity. I'll try to get this my group to as many people as I can, many podcasts and things like that, because I think health anxiety is something that I don't think is spoken about enough, and I think a lot of people have it who don't speak about it enough. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely, definitely. It's hard to talk. It's actually hard to actually step in a centre and to sit with a bunch of people and tell them what you're going through and rating how you are as a person through numerical orders, should I say, like 1 to 10. So it can be very overwhelming. I always think this is overwhelming to people, putting a microphone in front of them, putting cameras in front of them. But no, I mean, some people can cope with it and some can't. You're the big person when you take that leap, aren't you?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, to turn up to a building in at 7 o'clock at night or whatever, these because there's loads of different groups in the Live and Well Hub where I have my group, and all across Warrington and anywhere. But to actually turn up to a building with strangers and talk about your insecurities and hang-ups, that ain't easy. Do you know what I mean? And I'm not shy at all. I'll speak to anyone, but even I get nervous, even in my own group. So I can imagine. I can only imagine what it's like for someone who's turning up and not done it before and not spoke about things before. That's why I always try and make it as welcoming as I possibly can, which is really important in these groups, I think.
Definitely. So welcoming. So this is a question for you then. So obviously you're a mentor. You mentor like a peer mentor type of thing, aren't you? You're the one that's in charge of this group. Reading that person, it's all going down to body language, isn't it, as well, and how they are, because obviously the body language will start to come out when they're starting to feel a little bit like uneasy and that. But this helps them using body language. It helps them, doesn't it, to give you the answers and to carry on the conversations. But what is it? How do you go about it? How when you're having a conversation with someone, how do you know what to say? Sort of thing, if you get
Uh,
me.
do you know what? I always sound daft. When you say a mentor, by the way, I suppose my title would be, in terms of the group, would be just a group facilitator.
I
That's all
like
I am.
that. I do like that word. Yeah. Sorry for using the wrong word then.
Yeah, so I'm not in any senior position over anyone who's in the group, if you know what I mean. It's just I'm just the one who's got the room, the space for them to come and speak, and I don't I don't have to worry about what to say because I don't have to say anything. Does that make sense? All
Ah,
that
right.
room for is just for somebody to turn up, and some people don't speak. If they don't want to speak, they don't have
No.
to. But if they want to speak, that's what it's for. It's the group isn't for anyone to solve any problems or anything like that. It's for someone to come and just offload. For example, if it was me who was going to the group, I would maybe say, I've had a worry about such an illness this week. I've got this symptom, and it's creating me a bit of anxiety and things like that. We don't. No one's medically trained. We
No.
don't yours or anything. We just discuss health anxiety, and I think once you've spoke about your issues, and then you realise somebody else has got the same issues, that does make you feel better most of the time.
It does, you're speaking out and that and airing your views. See, I did a radio station going back when I was a teenager. It was only a 10-minute walk from me, which was a bonus. Didn't have to worry about getting a car or anything to drive there. And that
Yeah,
was designed for people with different, with special requirements, should I say, to come
yeah,
on and to air their views, play their favourite tunes and that. But it was just nice to hear their voices, and they were getting, at first they were shaky and a bit overwhelmed, and then they got the more they went, the better they become, and they bettered themselves. That's another thing that can happen. You can better yourself from talking. I know it's hard for some people. It's taboo in a
mhm,
way, and it's taboo, isn't it? It's something that no one really, they don't really talk about much. But I think we still need to try and get people to speak out more. I always say this, especially the male. I'm not being
mhm.
sexist or anything. I think I'm just being really truthful there. I mean, we find it hard as men to express our feelings. Women can do it like a click of a finger, can't they? Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know what you mean. They're much better at it than us. I mean, I think from my experience anyway. I mean, the from my point of view in terms of opening up and things like that, and I have seen in the short space of time when I've had the group, everyone's been really brave. I
yeah,
mean, just everyone's just come in and been dead honest, and it's just been it's been a really nice vibe as well. And there's been it sounds pretty daft this when you're talking about really serious things like health anxiety because it's really debilitating if you've got it bad. But we've actually had a laugh as well.
yeah.
We've had we just good conversations. We've had a little chuckle at things now and again. Sometimes a conversation can rear off and we can just speak about something completely different to anxiety, just things we've been getting up to and stuff and funny stories. And I think that's a good thing about it. And I've noticed, and this is from what the people have told me that you've come to the group, they're feeling a lot better because of it, and because I've suffered it really bad for 30 years. When I hear that, I just think, do you know what? It all seems worth it now. Do you
Yeah,
know the
yeah.
stuff that through, and I think that's what it's all about. When you start, I think it's important for people when they do start to get better to kind of see if they can help other people as well with the experience they've got. And that's what I've tried to do.
People do go away and they do their own thing, don't they? They feel better, and then they think, right now I can go away for a bit. I mean, they obviously they'll come back, but they'll just go away for a bit and they'll do their own little thing that they do, and they'll see to people like I do with the TikTok live. I do like a live check-in, so now and again I'll come on the live TikTok and I'll read it. I'll get one of my good books out, like a mental resilience book out, and I'll read that. I'll pick a chapter. Sometimes when I first did it, I said we'll play a game where I get the whole page of the book and I just flip through it, and then all you got to do is type the word stop. Someone did and stopped, and
Uh,
it was don't burn out. So then I
mhm.
use the gym because I go to the gym. I like to keep fit. Physical health as well is important. Keeping yourself fit, get them endorphins in. But like anything else that you get, if you're taking a drug or you take whatever, it wears off eventually. These don't stay in the body for long. It wears off eventually, and then because we rely on the endorphins. Some people just rely on that. Oh yeah, but then when that goes, they go. "Oh," they just like sink again. So there's got to be some good techniques. Have you done any techniques? I'm ranting a bit here now. Sorry, going off track. But have you done any techniques in the group with people? Have you had to do that?
I mean, not we speak about our own coping mechanisms, and we had a gentleman there who kind of shared some of his, and a couple of people tried it and it worked, and they so things like that are really love because it's other people bringing their stuff into and their coping mechanisms and things. But the one of the biggest things for me with the health anxiety was keeping a diary, and so if I got a headache or I got stomach ache, I would think it was cancer straight away, and I would be obsessively worried about it, and I wouldn't be able to focus on anything. I wouldn't be able to do anything. It would just be bang there, this dark big grey cloud. So I remember you've seen this, and many others would have seen this, the adverts for cancer awareness where they say, if you've had a cough for more than 3 weeks, see your GP, that type of thing. So it just got me thinking, if I was worried about these things straight away, so I thought, why don't I try and see if I can give it 3 weeks before I do anything about it? So I got a diary and started writing things in. At first, that did create a bit of anxiety because I was fixated on the 3 weeks, thinking, well, what happens when I get to 3 weeks? I've got to go, and all these things. So it wasn't immediate, but eventually, when I realized that a lot of the things I was worried about weren't lasting for 3 weeks, and I didn't know until I started writing these things down. I'm in a position where if I write a symptom in my diary, I forget about it and just get on with my life. So it's given me the freedom to just kind of live with the health anxiety and live along with it rather than let it control me. And me getting a handle on my health anxiety was never about being less vigilant. It was never about checking myself less, or it was just about living my life without this constant sickening worry. And that diary is what allowed me to do that. So there's a lot of things like the exercise, do a lot of exercise, give up drinking. That was a massive difference because my anxiety just went straight down. Sleep was better. All the things that they say happen when you start. So, but these coping mechanisms are going to be different for everyone. And the idea of the group is for people as well to come and discover their own.
Yeah, definitely. And where you're situated as well in the town centre, people doing their shopping and that retail therapy, that which we all go through it, we all do it, and we tend to go over the top and that. But it's just exciting when you can got the money there to get the things you want. But it's good where you are because people can shop, people can eat, and then if they're feeling well, they know they can go to the centre. They can go see
Yeah.
you.
My phone went off there, by the way, and you've disappeared. But can you still see me? I forgot to put it on silent. Can you still see me? Okay.
I can still see you fine. Yeah.
Let it ring. Then that's fine. So yeah, it's at the Living Well Hub, and it's Wednesday, every other Wednesday, 7 till 8. The Living Well Hub in Warrington, there's always stuff going on there. So like you say, these people, when they're out shopping, they can drop in, and there's a lot of mental health groups. There's if you Google the Living Well Hub in Warrington, you'll see there's loads of stuff on, and the staff there are really, really good. As soon as you walk through the door, they're really pleasant. They make you feel relaxed, and that is really, really important when you're going into an environment where you're feeling a little bit vulnerable. And look, like I said to you before, even when I go in for my own group, I'm still a little bit nervous. I can't
Of
explain what,
course. Yeah.
I still am.
And with things that you're passionate about as well, because the brain is a very amazing thing, but it's also can be a bit of a, at times because I just make the sound effect, so then everyone will relate to it. Because the anxiety kicks off because you overthink. Let's look into the brain a little bit more because obviously that's where it all goes. That it starts from there and then works our way into the body, doesn't it? It's like a big round circuit thing, and yeah. So for something that you're passionate about, you eat, sleep, and breathe, and that you're overthinking things, and you want to make sure that it's fine. You want to make sure that it goes well. And people have been through these little ruts before, and they can't sleep properly, and that. And again, going back to how they can cope with that. It's so much an advice. So if someone was asking, what advice would you be able to give them?
What, for general anxiety, you mean?
Yeah, definitely. It's all anxiety, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for the health anxiety, obviously, I've got many coping mechanisms, but for general anxiety, which is the physical symptoms, which I think you're referring to, when my health anxiety started to diminish, I was left with really, really bad physical anxiety. Now, I don't know what your situation is with your anxiety. Everyone's different, and everyone's anxiety is bespoke to themselves, if you know what I mean.
I
But
get like palpitations and I get sweaty.
yeah, yeah. So you would, and those palpitations are going to induce more panic because you can feel your heart. So I get all that, and I understand, and I've had that myself. So I, people think first of all, who've not got anxiety, or maybe have had mild anxiety, that anxiety is just nervousness. Now, anxiety for me, it made my body just feel like it was broken. I had no idea what was going on. It felt like I had heart failure. I felt like my bones were heavy. I felt like my blood was too thick to get through my veins. I just had this constant fear of uh, almost like being strapped to the front of a space shuttle that's going 1,000 miles an hour. And I'm just sat on the couch thinking, I don't know what's going on here. All I know is that I'm nervous and scared. Now, I remember at my worst, I was sat on the couch pretty much all day, constantly bursting into tears, constantly shaking to the point of where thinking, I think this is it. I think I'm going to die. I don't know what's wrong. And I've meditated since 2018. And that day, I probably must have meditated for 4 hours, I reckon, all in all. And I remember at one point, I was doing some breathing and I just felt this thing, the stress disappear. It just, not all of it, I would say maybe 30, 40% of it. Do you know when you're on a plane and you're coming into land and you just get the first bit and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, it was like that. And I remember thinking, oh my God, I've, this is going. That one moment made me realize that I knew I was on the right track with the meditation and trying to calm myself down. Um, when people try meditation, they probably try it for a bit and think it's not for me. I knew if it was going to work for me, I'd have to do it every day for the rest of my life, and I have done since then. So the big thing for me was meditation, just sitting there. And if I am nervous and I feel the tension in my chest and the heartbeat and the tingles and all those things that people experience, I just kind of let it happen and don't try and fight it. And eventually I get the plane thing that I'm on about.
Yeah,
So that was the thing for me, just kind of sitting with it and not pushing against it. And that's what worked for me.
really good. It's good meditation. I haven't done meditation. I've done I'm trying to remember the name of it now. It was in a gym. Yeah, they had this little class on, and
Mm-hmm.
they had instruments, and they were whacking them, hitting them, and it was all different sounds and that, and
Oh,
the waves, sound waves, and that was to try and calm
mhm.
me and feel a bit more at ease. But I'm trying to remember the name of it, and I hate it when I can't figure the name. But you get where I'm coming from, though. Have you ever
Yeah.
had it before? Yeah, different types of instruments, and that's helped as well. Hearing them loud and then softening. So the
Mhm.
the resonation, should I say? Um,
Yeah.
and that at first it was hard to be like, ooh, but then I started to like get used to it. You know, um, the more time you go, then the
Yeah.
more you get used to it and that. But yeah, it's like the stuff that's online as well. When people speak into the mic, they're silent or they're quiet and all that. The
Oh, is it ASMR? Is it or something?
ASMR,
Is
that's
that
it.
what
Yeah,
you mean?
yeah. People have gone on them as well to help when they've been feeling a bit under the weather and that. I find it a little bit cringy, to be fair, like, but again, if you keep doing it, I suppose it will be fine. It even says in it may make you tingle. So I was like, okay, what way? Oh yeah, funny. Oh,
Yeah.
you froze a bit, but you'll come
Wait,
back.
that was it. You when you say yeah, yeah. Can you see me
I can see you
okay
fine.
now?
Yeah, I can see you fine now. Yeah.
sorry, you was on about the ASMR and then I lost you for a bit. So yeah, I can hear you just started to freeze a little bit. I think you're okay now.
Yeah, I think I've
Can
got
you hear me now? Yeah.
yeah, I think I've got the gremlins on my microphone or something, just trying to
All
go
right.
mad at the microphone.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, ASMR and that, and obviously different feelings from when they've been doing the ASMR. It says as well it will make you tingle. It's like, okay, tingle. Oh, I don't know about that. Oh, funny.
But do you know? I get that ASMR thing because I remember years ago when anyone was asking me questions or writing stuff down or typing, if it was like somewhere giving them information and the click of the keyboards, I got quite a nice relaxing tingling thing in my spine, and I didn't know what that was for years, and I found out it was ASMR. So if someone's asking me questions and then typing it in a key, I can hear the keys clicking or writing it down. I get that kind of feeling, and not everyone has that. Not everyone. There's just a few people that do have it, or not everyone, should I say. I don't know what percentage is, but yeah, some people will just not get that. But I do get it. It doesn't relax me more as the meditation, but when it happens, it's quite a nice feeling. So I do get it.
Yeah, yeah. What was it like as a teenager? This is like a question I always ask my guests, because I like to know a little bit about them. Don't have to go into too much detail, and I don't have to say anything. Obviously you cut out things you're not comfortable in saying. But if you're an open book, that's great. But like life as Duncan, what was it like as your teen? Your teenage are probably more better to remember than when you were a kid. We always have a bit of a brain fog when we're kids, remembering stuff, reminiscing. Let's say.
Yeah. No, I mean, So as a teen, you throw slightly then. So I'm presuming
Sorry.
you were asking me what was a teenager. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's fine. Yeah. Well, my health anxiety actually started when I was a teenager. So it was quite it's quite a difficult time because I didn't really speak to anyone about it, and I spent a lot of my teens worried about dying, thinking
Right.
about mortality and things like that. And look, I mean, don't get me wrong. When I look back at being a teen and growing up, and I had a laugh. Do you
Yeah,
know what I mean? I had good friends, I had a good social life, and things like that. But when I was on my own, and when I wasn't distracted by friends and going out and drinking and all these things that teenagers do, it was quite a lonely, dark, sad place to be in my head. Do you know what I mean? And it was like that for years. So it was it. I don't looking back. I don't know if having Googled back then would have been good or bad. I'm presuming it would have been a lot worse because I'd just have been glued to it. But yeah, it's a shame. I think I had a good teenage. The teenage years were good, but I just wish I would have had some help with my health anxiety back then. There was just not. There was none. It was never discussed. The doctor never said to me, "Do you think you might have health anxiety or anything like that?" When I was constantly going with symptoms, which I think now I think it's really important for doctors to be a little bit more switched on with people coming with who've got health anxiety or trying to recognize it a little bit more. Do you know what I mean? Because you can go to the doctors saying, "Oh, I think I've got this, I think I've got that," and go 4 or 5 times in the short space of time. And I think if that happens, the doctor needs to maybe signpost them somewhere for health anxiety because, or at least have a conversation with them about it. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, definitely, of course, yeah. Because now these days, when people go to the doctors to see their GP, and they're going through a rut and that, they now self-refer them to different services. The
Yeah.
government, and this is true. I've had to look it up properly to make sure it's true. I've stopped funding for like sort of stopped the funding for the mental health wherever it is
Right.
they went to and that. So now they're self-referring them. Um, in them words, it's good that I've said it in them words so I don't get myself into trouble, but I'm not so getting myself into trouble. Freedom of speech, again, I always want to act on this. We have a freedom of speech. We have, if we've got something on our mind and that, and we've got a little bit of information and that's legit, we should tell it to people. We should do interpersonal communication. If anything's on our mind and we can't say it to a family member, we can say it to some stranger. It's great. Interpersonal communication is great. Tell someone else if you're not sure about telling your family and friends and that. But yeah, freedom of speech. You obviously agree as well. People should hear their feelings and what's on their mind. We have a say. Just make sure it's in the right context. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I agree. I think if you was to get signposted for a doctor to a health anxiety group or anything like that, this is what I found when I was starting mine. I don't think there is any. I mean, I don't think there's a specific place where you can go for health anxiety. There is for anxiety, there is for depression, there is for, I'm presuming neurodivergency, because I know of a group that there is at least one in the Living Well Hub, which is really good and gets a lot of people there. But I don't think, unless if anyone's watching this on YouTube or anything, and they know of any place there where if you have got health anxiety, you get signposted for it, because I don't think there is, and I think that's a massive problem, because there's a lot of people out there whose lives are being made miserable because they are constantly worried about their health, one thing after another, and they might get a brief respite for 2 weeks or something or whatever, but then it comes back again. And that's one thing. When I was starting the group, I was googling for health anxiety groups, and there just wasn't any.
Oh, no. I've got 9 minutes and 55 seconds because it wants me to upgrade. I don't want to do that. I knew this had a timer on it. Sorry for putting it short. I've got 9 minutes, so right, okay. Let's uplift. Let's make people feel great. Let's get them like, ooh. So things to make us feel good, make us feel positive, make us feel happy. Let's look at the positive side of things. Let's get that rainbow out. Let's shine a light. So let's look into it then. So what other strategies can we do to make us feel good, sort of thing, get all ourselves feeling great again?
Going out with friends. I mean, I've always been quite lucky in that respect, because I've had really good friends, and my son is a massive help for me when it comes to this. He always guides me in the right direction. I go to the football with my son all the time. Me and my son are season ticket holders at Old Trafford, so we've been going for years. So we always chat and stuff, and we, just opening up to friends and family and chatting and having a laugh and exercise, being social. Just I suppose everything's going to be different for everyone else, but whatever makes you happy, just do it. Whatever that is, it could be anything. Obviously, as long as you're not hurting anyone or.
No, yeah. Have we got a Duncan quote? Do you reckon we got a Duncan quote? Has he got a quote of the day for us?
Oh my God! Do you know what? If you'd have asked me this before, I'd have got a.
I think I put you on the hot seat there.
You know what? I'll message you with it later on, and then you can add it on different stuff.
Great.
But I have really good ones,
All the links, the places you attend, and that where you've been, and also where you are now, so we can so I can come over and see you as well.
Oh yeah. So if you go on to the group is called MYHAPS, MYHAPS, and the reason why I come up with the name is My Health Anxiety Peer Support. So MYHAPS. So if you go on to myhaps.co.uk, there's an email address on there. There's stories about coping mechanisms, and the group is every other Wednesday at the Living Well Hub in Warrington, which is a fantastic building with fantastic staff. The next group is Wednesday, the 3rd of September, 7 o'clock till 8 o'clock. You don't have to book on, just turn up, and there's refreshments there, and everyone's dead nice and welcoming.
Oh, thank you very much for coming onto the podcast. Did you hear me then? Did you hear all right? Was that all right for
Oh,
you,
you
maybe?
still there? I think you've frozen.
Am I frozen? Am I back? Am I back?
You there?
I'm still here, yeah. I'm still here.
Oh, I can see your thumbs up there. There we go.
Oh yeah.
Can you?
Can
Yeah,
you hear?
cool.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Okay.
hear you now. Yeah, I can hear
Yeah.
you now
Yeah.
perfectly.
Thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Yeah, I know you're welcome. Thank you very much for the invite. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
No worries, and I'll get all the information from you as well.
Yeah, please do. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Cheers.
Thank you.